Hello everybody and welcome back to another video of Bookmas. It is our very last day of Bookmas. In today's video, we're going to be going through my best books and my worst books of 2025 and a few of them in between. In this video, I have done everything in categories or via genre. I have my top achievers, which are my favorite books that I read in that genre. Then I have my honorable mentions, which are also like some of my favorites but are not as highly rated. And then I'll mention some other books that I'd recommend that I've read within that genre as well. So like I said, categories, so I will put timestamps so you can skip along wherever you would like. I have also made notes, so there are a lot of notes, so excuse me if I look down because I can't remember every single one of these. I don't even know how many books I have on this piece of paper alone, so I'll probably put it up on the screen if you want to know. Our first category, which is obviously our smallest category, romance or /lit fic, because I don't read much of this genre. Some of these books I don't know where to put. So top achiever in this category is Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home. I gave this a 4.5. It was my favorite book in the Magnolia Park's universe so far. Really loved it. It was super emotional. Some of the subjects that were picked up on are things that are hard hitting in my life too, so it really hit hard. So definitely in the series would recommend this. As a whole, I'm not entirely sure I would recommend the series. I was very disappointed in their last book, and some of the books I had to reread in order to like get something from it. So not sure if I love the books that much, but in this category this is my favorite. Also in this category, books that I would recommend is Daisy Hates the Great Undoing, 4 stars. All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven, this is also a 4-star. And then Songs in Ursa Major, which you know I absolutely loved as well, but still a 4-star. Moving on to our next category, our next genre, which is dystopian. I also don't have a lot of these. I thought I read more, but it looks like I didn't. I think I read more in the sense that I physically read them, but I didn't rate them very highly, so not in this video. The top achiever for us here is The Vanishing Deep. As you know, when I read this book, I banged on about it forever. It's by Astrid Schultz, and it covers like environmental factors and political factors, and it was this program where people had 24 hours to come back to live and say goodbye to their loved ones, and just the story as a whole really hit home. And I absolutely love things with environmental factors, so definitely go and check this out. 4.5 for me. And then I have another one, which is Watch Me by Tara Murphy, and this is the spin-off series to Shatter Me. Absolutely loved this book, loved James as a character, was great. Also a 4.5 for that. The rest of the Shatter Me series as well, but not all of the books were included in this, but all of them were about a 4-star. So we have Restore Me, Defy Me, and Imagine Me, just to recommend a few. The next category or genre is a massive one. This is one I actually read more than I thought I would, but absolutely love this genre still. I always have. It's literally my bread and butter. It's thrillers, horrors, and mysteries. So our top achiever here, as I'm sure you know by watching all my videos, if you have, you'll know Every Move You Make by C.L. Taylor. This I gave a 4.5 star to. It was a thriller about stalkers, and if you know me, that's the one thing that really gives me the ick. It makes my skin crawl, but it gives me a visceral reaction, which means I enjoy the book that much more. And C.L. Taylor herself had gone through the same situation or similar situation as the protagonists in the book, so she wrote about it from her own experience as well, so it hit that much harder, and it was a 4.5. really good. Then we do have a few honorable mentions in this category as well. The first one, I have it right here, so I might as well hold it up. The Last Mrs. Parrish, cannot recommend it enough. It is actually better than The Housemaid by Peter McFadden, but you could read them both separately, but really good. 4.25. The next honorable mention is Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. Actually just recently read this from when I'm filming. Could not recommend it enough. The plot twist was so hectic. There were so many red herrings in here that made you follow a trail that you thought you would believe, and then it would end up somewhere completely different, and just the overarching plot of this book was so whack, and I had a really great time. I really liked the way she writes. It was so atmospheric and like everything I could just imagine. She was so beautifully descriptive, and I would 100% recommend. I can't wait to read more from Alice Feeney. Did I say I gave this a 4.25? I gave this a 4.25. The rest of these, again, I would 100% recommend, and I'm not going to talk about every single one of them because either you know or you don't know, but these are ones that I definitely would recommend that I read this year. All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Bad Blood by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So that's the third and the third and the fourth book in the Natural series. Absolutely love it. Such a quick, easy read, palette cleanser, amazing. Then we have The Darknet, which is a religious thriller and also a techno thriller. Really like this, would 100% recommend. Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. I actually have that one here somewhere as well. This one over here, I recently read this again, and this was one of my favorite books from her, other than one I'm going to mention a little bit later. But this was so good. Had a fun time. I kind of knew what happened during the whole debacle that they were trying to figure out. Still, the route that we took to get there was different, very different from what I thought. It doesn't have as dark themes as the rest of her books, which made it an easier read, but it was so fun for a palette cleanser between reading a bunch of fantasies. The Drift by, is it CJ Tudor? Absolutely love this book again. It kind of played on like the COVID-19 vaccine and things going wrong and being stuck in a remote cabin in the woods and being with people that you don't really know, and it's that locked door theme and people are dropping like flies. It was really good. I heard many people didn't like it, but I thought it was a great concept to the book, especially with the play on 2019 of 2020 and 2021 and what we went through. I thought that was very good. The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. Again, people didn't like this. I absolutely loved it. Would recommend. It's also a very good palette cleanser. How to Sell a Haunted House. This one was so corny and so silly, but absolutely loved it. It was such a good concept. The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. I've banged on about this book so many times. Absolutely love it. Female rage. Writing retreat in a remote cabin in the woods as well. Absolutely great. Would recommend. Listen for the Lie by Amy Tentera. This book was so good. I know a lot of people said to listen to it on audiobook because it has the podcast type of layout, but I read it physically and I thought it was just as good. It was so funny and witty. I really liked what was going on, and the bigger picture of everything was really good. This one I have here as well, Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. Again, such a quick, easy read. Absolutely love the concept of this. The whole family drama of it all really intrigued me, and it kept me going straight all the way through. I really had a fun time reading this. It has multiple points of view, so it's quick paced, very fast paced. The chapters aren't that long. One of the siblings is a drug addict, which I love, and the other one is just like kind of a washout, if you could say that. And then the third sibling is this one that's put on a pedestal and can't do anything wrong. So it was really good the way they told the story and their big family secrets. Would recommend. The last one is The Weight of Blood, and I've spoken about this in my wrap up earlier on in this Bookmas videos things. Really love this. A retelling of Carrie. Her name is Maddie in this one, and like I said, lots of racism, oppression, whitewashing. A lot of stuff is involved in it, but it is very spooky. It hits close to home, but yeah, very good. Would recommend. Obviously now you guys are wondering, where are all the 5 stars? I've spoken about all these books in all these different categories and I haven't once mentioned any 5 stars. They're all in this category. So here we go with fantasy. These are all the fantasy books I read. Obviously, we won't do our honorable mentions just yet because honorable mentions are 4.5 and above. Here are my 5 stars and the highest rated books I've read this year. I kind of put them in order from when I read them, so it can be a little bit confusing, but I hate saying this, but Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, 5 stars. This book made me cry. It's the reason why I love the Harry Potter series. Don't support the author. I'll say that again. My husband always asks why I mention it. I feel like it's important because, yeah, but they're part of my upbringing. They're part of who I am as a person, so I cannot help it. I do not support her. I separate the artist from the art. So that is the first 5 stars. Absolutely love it. Obviously, most of you know what Harry Potter is. Deathly Hallows is the last book. Amazing. That's all I can say. Next, we have, of course, A Court of Silver Flames. A lot of people thought that I wouldn't like this, or a lot of people didn't like this because this is from Nesta's point of view. I love Nesta. I thought she was a badass. And yes, she was rude. Yes, she was cocky, but I feel like she had every right to be, and some people are just not pushovers. So I really liked her point of view. I loved Cassian and what's the other one's name? Azrael. I loved everything about it, and especially the ending where you can see Farah and Rice and everybody all together. I thought it was a great book, and the way she made her own little found family because she felt rejected by hers. Great. Would 100% recommend. This is probably a 6 star for me. I mentioned this in a video as well, like 2 days ago. Fourth Wing. I put this off for so long. I didn't want to read it because of all the hype and everything around it. I loved it. I loved it. I read it twice this year and I still think it's a 5-star. Belladonna, you should know this. Belladonna, with the gothic themes, the personification of death, Signa being able to like teeter between life and death, would recommend. With the gothic themes, the dark atmosphere, the poison, everything, I just loved it. I loved it. I'll mention it later. I almost gave you a spoiler. Then the last one I recently read, Throne of Glass. I don't know what I was expecting. I didn't love Assassin's Blade. I gave it a 3.5, but it was a compilation of short stories and I just didn't get it. I get it now. I get it now. All the short stories set this book up, so I get it. I should probably go back and reread it, but Selena is a badass, absolutely love her. There's no like real magic in it just yet, but it's still so entertaining, so detail orientated. I absolutely love her writing style. You can say what you want to, she's a good writer. So now we move on to everything that's not 5 stars. So for my top achiever, I have 2 in this category. The first one is again Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Absolutely love this book. Again, I also do love the movie. It's so heart-wrenching, and just the found family and everything that they go through, and they're only just kids. Crazy. Absolutely love that book. And then the second one, The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I have since read the second book to that, which is called The Mime Order. Didn't really get on with it that much, but I just think I was in a fantasy burnout, so I didn't finish it. I soft DNF'd it. I will definitely go back, but The Bone Season was so good. It's so different from any other fantasy I've read. The words that they use, they're actually in our world. It's like an urban fantasy with clairvoyance, and very, very interesting. I had such a good time. Just the way they described like Oxford and how London has changed. It was really, really descriptive, and I could imagine everything in my brain. Just the mythical beings that they have in there, which I actually watched back one of my videos, and every time I say it, I think I sound like a weirdo, but they like these mythical beings or aliens. I'm not entirely sure what they are. They come from the ether, so these weird things, and I can't really imagine what they look like because their skin is like glass and their eyes glow, and so I'm not entirely sure what they look like, but I'm excited to learn more about it. But that was a really good book and would recommend. Then we have our honorable mention, which is Glow of the Everflame by Penn Cole. This was the best book in the series. I don't know. Spark of the Everflame is another book I would recommend in the series. I did give it a 5-star. It was good, but it made me want more because of the cliffhanger. And then Glow of the Everflame was so good, and I felt like our main female character DM, she grew so much, she learned so much about herself. She actually put herself out there, and which she wasn't doing before. She was just hiding, and she literally put herself on the line. And then in the third book she regressed, and all of that fell away. So this was the highest rated book for me in the series, which is a 4.5 for Glow of the Everflame. The rest of the book, I'm not sure of. This book after it, I can't remember what it's called. I know the new one's called Burn, isn't it? So it's Spark of the Everflame, Glow of the Everflame. Can't remember. Really can't remember. The third book, too long. Way too long, over 1,000 pages, and nothing really happened, so wouldn't recommend that in this video specifically. But yeah, the first 2 books, amazing, 100% recommend. Then I have the rest of the Harry Potter series. All of the other books are 4, 4.25, 4.5, not even 4.5, I would have mentioned that, but they're all around a 4-star, I think, except one, which is The Order of the Phoenix, which I gave a 3.5 star to. That book's so boring, absolute tome, but absolutely nothing happens in there. It was the most painful book out of the whole series. But the rest of the Harry Potter series, I know I shouldn't recommend it, but if you haven't read it yet, you should. It's really, really good. Then we have The Gilded Ones, which I recently read. I have it right here by Namina Fauna. Absolutely love this. Again, I am trying to diversify my reading and my authors that I read from. So this is a black author. She is at the back. This was really, really good. Very different from what I usually read. The magic system is completely different. We have these girls who are deemed impure because their blood runs gold, but they're actually descended from something else, but nobody really knows about. But men are so threatened by women that they kind of just kill them off. Due to this, they have these monsters that are springing up out of nowhere, and they form an army of these girls who are demons to kill these creatures. And yeah, it is absolutely great. The only thing I can say is that the writing's not fluffy and beautiful. Like, there aren't any lines that I annotated, but there aren't any lines in here that are underlined, because I was like, that's a beautiful sentence right there. It's very straightforward. It was mostly plot, because because there's so much that goes on in these books. Like, she's crammed it full of information. Really had a good time, would recommend. Then The Record Keeper and The Seed of Cain. I also read this earlier this year, and this is, I think, where my video stemmed from for reading books under 10,000 reviews. These two books specifically, I didn't know where to put them. Like, The Seed of Cain specifically has 100, or when I read it, had 104 ratings. That's nothing. That's absolutely nothing. So I thought I would read more books like this, and it again is a black author, Agnes Gomillion. Would recommend. It's kind of dystopian, kind of fantasy. It's teetering on that line in between, but again, oppression, racism in a society where they are meant to believe that black people are not as good as white people. Oppression. I would definitely recommend this. Then I have Ruthless Fae. This is the only book, I think I read 4 books in the Zodiac Academy World series, whatever you want to call it, and this is the only 4-star I have. This was the best one because so much happened in it and things were just progressing forward, whereas in the others I just felt like it dragged along. It was such a slog to get through, and I just wanted information on a certain event and it took so long to get there. But I wouldn't recommend the series. It's not good. It's like trash TV, but it can be addictive. It can be addictive. Then I have Foxglove, which I was mentioned about. Belladonna was a 5-star, and unfortunately Foxglove is a 4-star. The tone of the books had changed a little bit. There was no more of that like really dark broodiness. There was no death in it anymore. So Signa and Death barely had any time on page together, and that's why I loved the book so much. So yeah, there's another mythical being which didn't love him. So I think it was setting up the story for the next book, which is Wisteria. So that wasn't a good move. I think we should have gave Signa another chance. Then we have Phantasma. I can't even remember Phantasma that well. I know it revolves around the 9 circles of hell and a game show, but I liked it a lot more than I did Enchantra. Enchantra I read, actually the first book I read on my honeymoon, but I didn't think it was that good. I didn't think it was as good as Phantasma. I loved the darkness of like the levels of hell. I just wish they had gone through the game show a little bit more. And then the last one is Spark of the Everflame, which I already mentioned. So this is a little bit different. Those are all the books that I read physically. This is a part or a segment for audiobooks, and these are my favorite audiobooks that I listened to this year. I got into really into audiobook listening this year because I was getting ready for my wedding and all of this, and I was listening to audiobooks while I was going for a walk. So I listened to a lot of audiobooks, and now literally I cannot go without an audiobook. I need an audiobook at all times. So these are my top ones. My top achievers are Iron Flame and Onyx Storm. Gave each of these a 4.5. I think Iron Flame was a, what do you call it? It's like a drama one where it's like a movie, an audiobook movie. Don't love that, but I thought this one was really, really good. I hate it when they're like running and then in the in the sound clip you'll hear or you'll hear like footsteps clopping. Like it's just so distracting, but I still did like the narrators. And Onyx Storm I think might have been as well, but I really, really enjoyed the story. So I haven't read either of those books physically, but listened to them on audiobook twice. I must say I had to re-listen to it because I just love it so much. So top achievers, absolutely love it. The next are honorable mentions. All of them are 4 stars. So we have Daisy Jones and the Six. Loved that audiobook with a full cast. They Never Learn by Lynn Fargo. Really, really good thriller. I sat in one sitting, 8 hours. I sat on my butt and listened to this book because it was so interesting. I also listened to Manacled. This was like over 3 or 4 days where I was listening like every day. Loved Manacled. You can no longer get it. I don't know if the audiobook is still available on YouTube where I watched it or listened to it. That was really, really good. Was really well done. They got like a bunch of people to do different parts of it. So some of it isn't really good, but I got the gist of the story and absolutely loved it enough to give it a 4 star. First Lie Wins by Ashley Alston. Really, really good. Would recommend. This is more fun and it was like a mystery. Really, really good. None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. This is the other book by Lisa Jewell. This one was really good. I probably should have given it like a 4.25. This was really good, about a podcast host who meets her birthday twin, and the birthday twin kind of wants to be like her, so she kind of starts intercepting in her life, which is really gross but really well done. This was my third Ali Hazelwood book because was it third or was it second? Obviously Red Bride, and then Not in Love. I think it might have been my second. I think I did Deep End after this. So good. I love the audio book narrators. Again, both of them were really, really good. It is dual narrated. Really good. I don't know why people didn't like this. I didn't even think it was supposed to be an erotica, but I didn't think it was an erotica at all in my opinion. Next, love this. Margot's Got Money Problem. always get the title wrong. Margot's Got Money Trouble. This is such a good book. I know it's very like relevant to the times now, OnlyFans and Instagram and all of that on it, but it's so relevant and it's so good, so witty, so funny. Would 100% recommend for a silly, goofy time. The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. This was my first book by her, and it was just on Spotify. They have like this free audiobook thing, so I thought I'd listen to it, and I was at home in South Africa shopping with my mom and dad, and I popped in my earphones and listened to it while I was doing the shopping. So good, so good. I really loved Anna and West, or Liam, whatever you want to call him. Absolutely loved the two of them together. It was so good, so cute. Would recommend, again, for a silly goofy time. I forgot that I listened to this. Quicksilver. I need to actually buy the physical book because I know I listened to it over a few days and I don't feel like I took in all the information, because I know Sarah's Vane, that's all I remember, and he is Kingfisher. I remember they went in like this maze thing, but I don't feel like I remember the story as a whole, but I gave it 4 stars, so I would recommend. Then the last category in the positive side of things is my reread. So I did do a few rereads this year. My top achievers are, I have 2. So I have a Tribute of Fire, which I read in order to get ready for A Vow of Embers, and I gave it a 4.75. Again, still really good, but still very disappointed in the sequel. And then I have Reckless, which I reread before Fearless, and this I gave a 4.52 again as well. So good. My favorite book in the series. So good. Then I have Daisy Hates, which I reread before I started Daisy Hates The Great Undoing, and then I also reread This Woven Kingdom in order to read These Infinite Threads. Absolutely loved that as well. So our last 2-ish categories, I'd say 2. I divided them in 2 anyway, but these are all under the umbrella of the worst books I read this year. I don't want to be negative in any way, but I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, and I would steer clear of these. So my first part of this is all the DNFs, and obviously I wouldn't recommend them. I didn't finish them, so these are the books that I would steer clear of. The first one is A Darker Shade of Magic. I know a lot of people love this book, absolutely loved it, but I think I read an old edition because I got it out my library. Spelling mistakes, the line spacing was off, the grammatical errors were just, it was a bit too much to me, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on in that book. I was so confused the whole way through. I made it to like 200 pages. I was doing it in a 24-hour readathon too much. I didn't get it. Maybe I'll read it at a later date, but I didn't like it. Things Bright and Beautiful, that came out funny, by Anbara Salam. I've spoken about this book as well. It just talks about religion in a negative light, and that doesn't suit who I am as a person or how I was brought up, so I decided to DNF at around 18 pages just because of the way that they spoke about religion. And it was an Ascension Island in Australia, and yeah, I just didn't get it. And I don't even know how other people read that book because it was a tough one. The Surrogate Mother, Freedom McFadden. I have DNF'd a few of Freedom McFadden's books, and I haven't spoken about it because I wasn't far enough into the book, but this one I got at least 50%. It was obviously about a surrogate mother, but she was her assistant, and she volunteered to be a surrogate mother, and then she just proceeded to kind of want to weasel her way into her marriage and take over her life. And I draw the line at that. I hate women who take advantage of other women like that. It's already hard enough, and I can't read about it. The American Roommate Experiment. This was back in February. I read it in a Valentine's vlog. What was that? It was so cheesy and so cringe. It gave me the ick. It was so bad. I couldn't do it. I read 220 pages and it just gave me such an ick. I actually couldn't. Death of a Bookseller. Again, it was too repetitive. It tried to be so dark and mysterious, but it just ended up being so repetitive. And again, 125 pages, decided to DNF. We have a top achiever for the worst book that I actually completed. Our first Christmas book we read. This book gave me the actual ick. Like, who thinks about this stuff? Who thinks about this stuff? How can you even think? I don't know. Saying that you have something in common because you tasted the same scrotum. Are you joking? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay, then we have These Violent Delights with These Violent Ends. I've spoken about it enough. Shit. Absolutely hated them. So boring. I actually saw Emmy read it, and I think she liked the first book. Me, I was waiting for the fantasy to kick in. It never came. I'm still waiting, and It was terrible. Absolutely hated it. The Cloisters by Katie Hayes. Again, this was just a little bit too pretentious. I think that's the word to use, because it was meant to be about this art major who specialized, or who couldn't find a job, so she ends up specializing in old art, like divination cards, and they bring her into like this kind of culty vibe, and it ends up just being about like females being competition in the workplace, and then obviously it always ends the same way. So I just thought that this book could have been so much more. It was supposed to be dark academia, but I didn't get that from it. It just, yeah, it didn't hit for me, so I wouldn't recommend. All That's Left to Say by Emery Lord. I love this cover of this book. It's so gorgeous, but like the book didn't match the vibes. It was way too YA. It was whiny. It was annoying. Like, I get that something bad had happened, but like, where do we draw the line? The Lies You Told by Harriet Tice. I was saying the other day that the book I'd read had reminded me of that, but I cannot for the life of me really remember what this book was about. All I know is that it was about a mother who went away to America, had a baby, came back, and her mother was super strict and passed away, and then said she could live in her house if she sends her daughter to the school that they went to, and then the daughter ends up getting kidnapped or something, and that's all I really remember. But I just remember it was very, very boring, and it was like a domestic thriller, so very much like Desperate Housewife type of thing, and not for me. Alone with You in the Ether. I'm not gonna say it, but you know, if you've watched any of my videos, you know, I even sold this book as soon as I was like, hey, I can sell books secondhand. Sold it. No, it's just, I don't even want to try Olivia Blake now if that's her writing. It was just no point of the story. Absolutely no point at all. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Carrie Soto is back. Unfortunately, I don't know if I like Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've read Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones and the Six, and those are the only two books I liked. Then I read Carrie Soto, didn't like. Malibu Rising, didn't like. Was there another one? Can't remember if there was another one, but so far that's two books I didn't like, two books I did like. I don't know. I have absolutely no desire to read Atmosphere, so yeah, I don't know if I like her books or if our relationship is over. And maybe it's over because this was just about tennis. If you watched my short, tennis popped all over the screen way too many times because it was just about tennis. I know some people are like, oh, it's about a strong female in a male-dominated industry. It's fucking tennis. That's all they talk about is tennis, tennis, tennis. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I was so bored. I had to get the audiobook and just listen to it because I was like, enough. We get it. We get it. And that is everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was tough to make because I obviously don't want to be rude and I don't want to bang on about things too much, but I kind of want to just give you my opinion. And that is just a bunch of books that I would recommend that I've read this year. So I read so far 126 books this year. My goal was 100, but try and do at the end of the month a end of the year book tag just before the year ends. I will try and get that out for you guys, but 126 books, it was really, really good. I feel like I have more of an understanding of what my reading taste is like, what I dislike, what I'm willing to give a chance to, what I'm not. I still have a dud every now and then. Like, I just realized I hate Christmas books. They're so sappy and mundane and boring. I don't get it. So yeah, it's kind of helped me like come into myself. I love fantasy. I don't know, thrillers, horrors, absolutely love. I love a little bit of if necessary, but yeah, I kind of understand my reading more this year. But with that being said, thank you so much for sticking with me for 12 days, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Like I said, I will post probably an end of the year book tag, but otherwise I'll see you all in Jan. Please remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys all at the end of the month or in the new year. Bye, guys.